Hey guys, all right, welcome to my first video. So be a little nice because this is new to me. I am going to go ahead and record the problems that I observe that you guys need from Alex as we keep working. And I will normally not be on video. Most of the time, you're just going to see the problems there. I just wanted to start off with a video just because it was the first time and to welcome you. Also, I wanted to be very, very clear about or bring attention to one thing. When kids are working problems in math, a lot of times, and I shouldn't say kids, but anybody, the reason why they're having trouble is they're not asking themselves the right questions. And the questions are everything in math. So I can often go to a student who's having trouble and they're like, I do not get this. And I can go to them and ask them the questions and they can solve it. I will literally not even give them any math help. I will say, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to solve. What does that mean? It means to isolate the variable or get v by itself or get x by itself. Okay, so why is x not by itself? Like, what do you need to do? And they're like, oh, well, there's a 5 in front of it. Okay, so what, you start asking these questions like, what do you need to do to get rid of the 5? So anyway, I wanted to teach you 3 questions for solving equations that I will come back to again and again and again. So I want you to write them down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take myself off screen because you don't need to see me anymore. You'll hear me. All right, but welcome. And this first video is a little long just because it's the beginning. They typically won't be as long. Okay, and there's going to be 2. This will be, I'll do 2 problems with this one and then I'll do 4 problems with the next one. All right, so I'm going to take it off. All right. So the first question, first of all, let's do this. Let me do this really quick. Write on your notes, solving equations. I want to see these notes, by the way. Okay, you need to have these 3 questions handy. Okay, I don't know where you're going to have them, on a little card stock. I don't care where you have them. You could put them on a sticky and leave them on your computer screen. I don't really care. Okay, the first one is going to be, the first question you're going to ask is, okay, what is, oh my gosh, what am I, geez, I got brain fart, trying to get rid of? Okay, what this means is when you're looking at an equation, you're always trying to get rid of the numbers that are stuck to the variable. Otherwise, you're really not solving anything, right? It has to be that way. I want to see if I can get them bigger. Yeah, there we go. What am I trying to get rid of? That's the first question, okay? Second question is going to be, what is it doing to the variable? All right, so that is the second question. And I will repeat these again and again and again. Why can I not do this, guys? Here, let's try that. Okay, this is going to bug me. I need to get in there. I need to put in a question mark. Okay, there we go. Geez, wouldn't let me do it. Okay, then 3. Okay, the last question, 3, is how do I undo that? How do I undo it? Or maybe I'll put it. How do I undo it? All right. So once you figure out what you're trying to get rid of and what it's doing to the variable, excuse me, you need to answer the question, how do I undo it? All right, I want you to have these handy. I want you to write them down, and you will hear them again and again and again from me, and they will help you solve. Okay, so here we go. This is the first topic that I know that you guys needed, and it's basically solving where you have to add and subtract fractions. I'm sure it's the fraction element that is the trouble, but we are going to go ahead and take a look at this a little bit closer. Okay, I'm going to go to the next screen. All right. This disappeared. I had the problem written. Isn't that interesting? It disappeared. Okay, v plus 3/5 equals 1/4. I'm going to rewrite that here. Okay, v me get the black. Let me get white. Okay. V plus 3/5 equals 1/4. All right. So the point is we want to solve for V. Okay. So we ask our questions. Okay. V is not by itself. We want to get V all by itself. And this little 3/5 is hanging out and we don't want that 3/5 there. So the first question is, what do I want to get rid of? We want to get rid of the 3/4. Second question is, what is it doing to the variable? It is adding to the variable. So therefore, the third question is, what do we do to undo that? Okay, how do I undo that? With subtraction. The opposite operation of addition is subtraction. So we are going to subtract 3/5 from both sides to get V by itself. Okay, I am going to move this over. I typically ask you to work down in math. I will almost always have you work down in algebra. The thing with fractions is they are sometimes easier done left to right. So I will totally allow you to do that. I also want you to keep your equal sign in a line. Okay, we will be able to understand what went on much better if you do that. So V plus 3/5, and now I'm going to subtract 3/5 from both sides. Okay, equals 1/4. And then if we, whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other, correct? Because it's an equation. All right, so now these two are going to cancel out, and then we are going to get V equals, notice I didn't write it under there, I kept my equal signs in line. And now here's a problem. We don't have common denominators. We have 4 and a 5. So we need to find the least common multiple. The least common multiple, to me, the quickest way to do it is start with the largest number. 5 is the largest number. So you're going to start going through multiples of 5. Okay, 4 obviously doesn't go into 5. So let's double 5. You get 10. Does 4 go into 10? No. Does 4 go into 15? No. Does 4 go into 20? These are multiples of 5. Yes, 4 goes into 20. So now we are going to multiply this fraction by 5/5 and this fraction by 4/4. Okay, and then we will get, okay, again, remember multiplying fractions. You multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So you get, so you get 5/20 minus 12/20. And now we have a common denominator, so we can now add the numerators. And by add, I mean combine, because obviously 5 and -12, it means 5 minus 12, which is -8/20. Okay, but that's not done. We want to, by the way, that's really ugly. The V is not in the right spot. I would definitely have to move this. Okay, but we don't want this form. We need it to be reduced. So what is a number that goes into both 8 and 20? Now, if you said 2, you'd be correct, and then it would be -4/10. But you also need to recognize that 4 and 10 have 2 in common. So you got to keep reducing it until you get down to a place where nothing is, where you cannot reduce it any further. So -2/5 is the correct answer. So it's V is equal to -2/5, and I ran out of room, so I can't do it anymore, but that is the answer to that. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, this is the next one, and it is -15/2 is equal to -3u. This one I really want to show you something. Take a look at where they put the 3. If I were to put 3u over 1, look at where my 1 would be. It'd be way down here. For some reason, math books like to put fractions in the middle, like they center it. It's the strangest thing. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to show you a really cool trick. And I promise you, if you use the lines on your paper like I'm going to teach you now, your life will be so much easier with fractions. People don't like fractions. People don't like fractions because for some reason, they intimidate them, but you don't need to. Do I have my pen? I hope I do. All right, so notice what I did. I actually put, I don't have it. I did not get the pen tool. Okay, let's make sure I got the pen tool. Oh, I got white, that's why. Okay, here we go. Woo! Okay, notice that, why did this do this? Here we go. Maybe if I do it there. Sorry, guys. I'll get this right. Okay, so notice what I did. I put the 15, I'm using the lines of the paper, and I'm drawing the division line. This really means 15 divided by 2, right? So here's the thing. There's the division, and notice what I did with the 3u. I put it at the same space. There's a reason why I did it. Okay, when you're talking about this problem, you want to say, ooh, what do I want to get rid of? The -3. What is it doing to the variable? It is multiplying. So what would you do? Divide. Well, when you're dealing with fractions, you need to remember that to divide means to multiply by the reciprocal. I think this makes every fraction much easier. Divide means multiply by the reciprocal. Sorry, reciprocal. That's how you spell it. Okay, so instead of just dividing, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this by -1/3 because the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. We're going to, whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other. Okay, so now check it out. When we multiply this, this is going to become, and you don't have to do this step, by the way, you could just write u, but I'm just doing it. Negative times a negative is a positive 3u over 3. This is going to reduce to simply u. Okay, on this side, now we have a multiplication problem. Easy. Negative times negative is a positive 15 over 6. Multiply numerators, multiply denominators. 3 times 2 is 6. So here we go. Is there something that goes into both 15 and 6? Is there another numbers? Do they have a common factor? And the common factor is 3. And I'm going to show this to you. You do not have to go do this on your papers. But do you see that 3 is in common? So if we were to cancel the 3, we would get 5/2. You may just jump from this step to that step, though. I just wanted to show you where it came. And again, keep it on the same level. Okay? All right. There we go. Let me try to shrink it down again. Good. Okay, and that's going to be the end of this video. I do want to show you that you could have done it this way. Last thing, I'm going to do this in a different color. Okay, you could have actually done it this way. -15/2 equals -3u. And let's say you divide by -3. You would have to divide this by -3. And then you'd have to put this over 1. And then to do this, this is a fraction. This is a fraction divided by a fraction. To do that, you need to, some of you guys say stay, change, flip. I say multiply by the reciprocal. You would literally go over here. I'm going to do it over here because I ran out of room. 15/2 times -1/3. And it's the same thing that we had over here. It's the exact same thing. But this is easier. To remember that to divide means to multiply by the reciprocal is a really good deal. All right. That concludes this video.